Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So today's reading is a pick a card reading for just basically what you need to know, what's going on right now. So best advice is to take a deep breath, ground yourself, and then I'll put the cards up on the screen. So happy pickings! Hey Pile One, let's get into your reading and see what you just need to know at this time. So the first card that you chose is Higher Perspective with the Cosmos, Awakening, and Unity. So that's your main card for this reading. So what this is telling me is that you are kind of going through an awakening, as it says on the card. So what do you need to know right now is that maybe you might be having this uncomfortable feeling, right? Like you're in the same places that you've always been, you're doing the same things that you always do, but it almost seems like constricted. You know, like when you buy some clothes and they're just a little too tight and you're outgrowing them, or you just might seem bored or restless. And so, as I look into this, I see three. I see the god and goddesses energy, right? So that is the mother, maiden, crone, or you have to look at it in the aspect of all stages of life, right? So you keep changing, you keep growing, you keep evolving, but this is saying it's time to go to the next phase. So as much as you love being in the phase that you're at, it's time to see the next part. And so let's just pull out the rest of the cards and we'll just see what the message is. I'm just hearing that's just the way of the world. That's just the way things go, right? You have to always continue to grow and evolve. It's always, every day you wake up, you can't stay the same as you were yesterday. It's a new day, a new change, and that's just the way of the world. It's in cycles. And so the very first card that I got when I pulled out was the Four of Arrows, and it said rest. And so here we see a guy, and he's not doing so good, right? He's kind of, he's done. He's so tired and exhausted. Maybe sickness set in, and he doesn't have the energy to go out and do the normal things that he used to do. That those things kind of used to take they used to empower him. Now it's hurting or harming him. And then we have the Four of Vessels. So it's interesting that there's 2 4 cards at the same time, right? And so here's Four of Vessels, and it's saying boredom. So there's 4 jugs. There's 2 beside her, and then there's 2 up there. So there's so much to pick from, right? They're overpouring, but she's just not interested in these anymore. Like at one time it filled up her cup, but she's like, I really want to go to the ocean, right? Like you kind of can't settle for a cup of water in exchange for the ocean, right? So if you want to go to the ocean, you gotta make plans. You gotta, maybe if you're not near it, buy a plane ticket, figure out accommodation, those kind of things. But it's definitely worth it in the end compared to just having, I'm gonna have a sip right now. I like all water. But that's one thing is, so four is standing out to me in these numbers, right? We had the 3 before, the goddess energy saying it's time to change. But the thing with 4 is, a lot of people view it as pillars or stability, right? But 4 in the numbers is It could be stability, but it also, that stability and that non-change can lead to stagnation, right? And so let's say you did find this pond, right? And you're like, this pond is so good, right? I can't have the ocean, but I'll settle for this pond. But if there's no movement, there's no change, there's no growth, it's going to turn into a swamp. And this girl's like, nope, I'm done with this swamp, because this swamp is making me, well, first off, I don't even want it anymore, but it's also making me sick. I have no energy. I drink this water and it doesn't give me any oomph. And so from that, and I've mentioned this in other readings, but we got the lotus. And so I mentioned a swamp, right, from the stagnation. So what's so great about the lotus is it grows in mud. Its seed is grown in the muckiest, murkiest, dirtiest waters, and then all of a sudden it has this inkling to grow, and it grows and it like starts reaching for the light. Like it just knows that it wants something different. It wants something better. So in a way, it's saying, take this moment to, you're bored with the way things are, and that's to be expected, because you're not meant to stay there forever. But you're supposed to be thankful for the lessons that it provided. And so if you didn't get to this stalemate, that you wouldn't have this desire to reach for the stars, right? To reach for the light, to grow, to expand. And then once the lotus reaches the light, that's when it blooms, that's when it blossoms, that's when it steps into its next phase, right? You can go from seed to sprout to now a flower. And that's that cycle. And it's just knowing that you have to always change and grow and go with the flow. Because we got chameleon. I had a chameleon as a pet once, or my brother did, and they're so cool. I just love how no matter like what they're crawling on, right? Okay, I was gonna talk about the color changing, because that's what chameleons, everyone knows they do. But what I'm actually being drawn to is, okay, so the chameleon that we had, his desire was to always go up, which is kind of like the lotus, and they're from the same deck. So it's really cool that these two cards came out. And so no matter what with the chameleon, he always climbed, right? He's like a little fireman on his ladder. And once he would get to the top, you kind of put him at the bottom, and he just had this desire to always reach up and grow. And that's the same with the lotus. They're reaching for a higher state of consciousness. And they can adapt and they can change, the chameleons. So no matter what stage or phase you're in, it's saying to not get stuck, to always keep going forward, keep going, even if it's a baby step, right? Each time you get into a new area that you're uncomfortable with, that's where this card's gonna come out, the octagon, right? And so what do we know octagons as? It's a stop, right? No go. So each time you get into this new phase and it's uncomfortable, it's saying just to take a baby step, right? Like a chameleon can kind of blend himself into it. And then, like I said, he'd get to the top and then we'd put him at the bottom, and then and to him, he was always going, even though it was just such a short distance. But even when you find yourself back at the bottom, let's say you've been stopped and you've been redirected and you're back at the beginning, you're not quite at the beginning, right? Because you've already gone through that. You know how to do it. So now you're doing it with mindfulness. Now you're doing it with the awakening, right? With more consciousness. And so eventually you're able to get through that stage quicker. That no stop can actually stop you. And so what's the last one that we have here? We have June companions. June companions. And there's the card. And so we got butterflies, and we got, what am I trying to say? Dragonflies. We got all that. But at first I was like, what is this? Because there was one thing I wanted to say before I got distracted, which, I'm going to start right back at the beginning, right? I'm here. I'm feeling stuck. I'm meant to be here. Start over and just grow. So let's take it back to the rest. So this card, I totally went over this one way too fast. So this one's saying, go back to the beginning. So there's a moth on here. And so let's just get the message from the moth, and then I can know a bit more about what this card is trying to tell us. So 4 of arrows with rest. We've got the moth. Normally, this would be a happy card, but this guy has been stalled. He's been stagnant. He's staying in a place that he shouldn't be, and it's taking his energy and his oomph from him when he should be flying. So it's saying perch. I'm hearing the word perch. Maybe it's parch. They're saying that it's both. They're like, we just gave the water example to you, right? The swamp and the ocean. That could be parched, and they're telling me to drink some more water, so I'm going to listen. I'm also getting over a sickness myself. And so that's what they're kind of saying, is like to rest, to get lots of fluids, especially when you're in a transitional phase. And so with my sickness, I've gotten to that point where, when you're drained and you rest and you do all that, but then one day you wake up and you know that you've kind of made it over that mountain and it's all downhill now, and you kind of get that energy back. That's what they're kind of showing, right? So these ones are all flying. This butterfly or moth is resting. And so it's saying just to take the time to rest, to drink up, especially when you're in between a phase, right? To stop and just rest. Make sure you get lots of water, because the thing is that when you're going between these new cycles and everything, like a butterfly, like a caterpillar cocoon, you're energetically leveling up, and sometimes your body needs to hold more energy, and it's actually it's pretty hard on the body when you're starting to change into a new phase. But the more that you drink water, the more that you rest, the more that you just allow these things to integrate, the more that it does on itself. And then when you get to this environment, right? Like I'm seeing a marathon, right? That little chameleon doing his marathon. He's just go, go, go. But if you haven't eaten and if you haven't drank water and then you start running the marathon, you're going to tap out. You're not going to have enough energy to sustain yourself. So Spirit's really showing just to continue on with nurturing yourself, giving yourself the nutrients and the rest and vitamins and things that you need, because you are filtering out this stagnant, stale energy for the ocean, right? For this vast, abundant. One of them makes you sick, one of them empowers you. But if you are in this energy now, you've got to let a lot of things go, a lot of healing to take place. And it's little baby steps. It's not saying from here to here. It's literally one step at a time. And working yourself through it. You can't spiritually bypass a soul lesson. You can't just all of a sudden be this empress, high priestess energy and never have gone through strife or struggle or any adversity. And so right now it's saying take rest, rejuvenate yourself, know that you are going for something better, especially if you're bored and you're not happy with the way things are, and you're just so exhausted in your environment, it's trying to say, stop right now. Take heed of what is going on, right? And then, you know, slowly adapt to what you need or what you want. And it's uncomfortable and scary when you kind of get out of your comfort zone. But as the chameleon, he kind of blends in, just baby steps, slowly goes for it. And then as you get higher and higher, that's when you start to get into the higher light, higher energies. And that's where this unity and this, what was it? Unity, awakening, and higher perspective comes from. And that's this outcome card. These ones compared to this one's just sitting on the branch waiting. It knows it wants to go and do things, but here we have the community, and it's flying, and it's high, and it's a good energy, but it's that slow transition from this to this, right? And so any final messages, Spirit, as I wind up this reading? Oh, they told me to look inside the lotus, but I don't know what I see. It says self-created. Okay. So I see a little flame inside the lotus. And so it's nurturing your heart flame, your heart's desire, your actual essential energy in you. So if you feel like your flame is very tiny right now, it's just saying to like nurture that and love that. And then eventually when you grow that energy more, that's when you can go and, you know, you'll find the connection. But right now I'm just seeing the little energy just fighting so hard to stay strong. So your message today is to focus on the energy wherever your life force is, that you find it in yourself. It might be in your Dantian, it might be in your heart, it might be all around you. It's just really saying tap into yourself and figure out your energy and your heart's flame. I keep saying heart because your heart is the fire energy that kind of pumps it through the whole body. But Spirit's telling me for you to find out where your energy is, how vibrant is your flame, your exuberant vibrance, you know? Is it low? And it's saying nurture that, because that, by doing that it's just going to be a really cool experience of evolving for you. So that's the message for today. If it resonated with you, I'd appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up or a comment and let me know. I love getting feedback from my readings. And pay attention. I've got a couple more readings coming out today. And thank you for just being a part of my video. Bye, guys. Hey, Patu. Welcome to your reading. So the main card that you chose for today was Liberation. It says power, fulfillment, and self-attainment. And so this is a message of what you just need to know right now. So I'm getting to just let your energy soar. There's just so much going on around you. And it's almost so hard. Okay, so what I'm seeing is in here, she's surrounded by all this white light. And in this white light, it's so powerful and it's so intense that she can't quite express herself in color as much as she's used to. And so the only way that this girl is able to express herself is to literally just be open and letting it flow, right? Normally there's words or colors or songs or animals or something to share, right, how you're feeling or something, but this is just being a channel of empowerment. I hope that we can explain that a little bit more. Right? And it's almost like the best I can explain it is looking at the sun, which I don't recommend for everyone to do. Stare directly at the sun if you're not protected, right? We don't want to hurt our eyes. And so let's just get the other cards out here. Oh gosh, pile 2. I'm so happy for you. I'm really happy for you. Okay, so when I first pulled the cards, they were in reverse, and I intuitively wanted to just turn it upright. I'm like, nope, that's how it is. I'm going to leave it. And so pile 2, I really feel like you are freeing yourself from a situation that has no longer been good for you. So here we had, this one was the 2 of Vessels, but it was in reverse. And so it says 2 of Vessels is attraction. And so here we've got them coming together, and they're sharing their energy, and then they're filling up their cups, but it was in reverse. And so this girl, so powerful on her own, she's connected to the universe, and she gets her light and energy from there. She doesn't need it from someone else, right? And then, because I'm not sure what situation you were in before this, but we had the moon on the water, and it was also in reverse. And so here we've got a bull. Moons are usually illusions, right? Lies and illusions. I just keep getting that there's someone who has been so stubborn, right? The bull is very stubborn, and he's like, I feel like there's been a lot of lying and manipulation done to pile 2 that was very unfair and unjust for you. That now that I see this and all the white light, and I said, normally you have these other colors to express, but I'm so happy that you don't, because you've taken this person's energy and said, no, like, I don't want your whatever they were giving you, and filling you with I just feel like it was very toxic. It was very toxic for you. The next card that we have is Love and Power. And then the other one was Together, but it was in reverse. So pile 2, I think that you are learning to trust yourself, how to fill up your own cup, how to be, the boss of your reality, and not needing someone to come, right? You don't need to come together with someone in order to have all this love and power and joy. And that's because in the past, you had, it's pearls before swine, right? I feel like pile 2, that you're just that loving, you're so willing to love others who aren't worthy of this beautiful love that you have to give, right? You're this super, I can't even, I know there's so many words for love, but this person was not worthy of it, right? And so you decided to, you're like, sorry, I don't know which one to grab, because all the cards are saying the same thing, right? You're like, nope, not gonna I don't want you filling up my cup with your toxicity. And I know you think that what you're doing is beneficial to me, but it's really only benefiting you. And so it's a very codependent, unequal partnership. And you're like, hell no, I'm not into that. I'm getting out of here. You saw the illusions. You were like, nope, not for me. I'm peacing out. I'm going to fill up my own cup. But then we have one card left. And it says, mean and heavy. And I've been kind of avoiding this one to the last because I don't know who you were dealing with, pile 2, but they're not good for you, and they say things to you and manipulate you, and they try to keep you down. They want you to think that you're the swine and that you should be thankful for them to even want to come and fill up your cup. I'm getting very toxic, codependent, possibly narcissistic, even sociopath type, gaslighting, all those kind of words, right? Not everyone's a narcissist, but the energy in this reading I'm not happy about. But I'm so happy that this is you. The card for you, this is what you need to know right now, is liberation. So if you're still in this dynamic with this really mean, tongue-lashing person, it's saying you're powerful, you've got fulfillment and self-attainment. Like, you are okay to go off on your own, and you'll thrive. Like, you don't need them. Let's say if you don't think, oh, how will I make my rent? How will... It's not true, right? These are just things that you've been dealt... You've just had this tongue lashing over and over. And Spirit's telling me that for some of you, that it started as a kid, right? Your parents kind of did that, and so you kind of found a partner that has that because that was the thing that was kind of comfortable for you before, but you're an adult now, and you get to make your own choices, and you get to do whatever you want, and you're not a victim of the past, and you never will be. So you can't carry that story forward into the next phase of your life. And so now, yeah, I feel like pile 2, when I first said that I'm used to color, I'm used to stories, I'm used to an animal or something, but all I see is white light. And I'm so happy for you for that, because you've been in this energy for so long that this is such a drastic change that people aren't going to recognize you as much anymore, and that's okay. You're still you, right? You still got a little bit of the, the rebel in you, the indigo child, what say, what not, but there's just someone that's very, I want to say very dark, holding on, and they don't want you to free themselves. But let's go back to this card. Love and power. Love and power. They're playing the song Love and Marriage. What's that? Married with Kids. So, okay. Some people stay in this dynamic for the kids. They think if they take this lashing, that it will avoid others from having the effects happen to them. But what Spirit always tells me in those situations is they're watching you. And children, oh, I'm getting chills. Sorry, they're really coming in for this. Children are very empathetic. They don't need to hear everything that goes on. When you come around, they feel. So when you're lying to them, it messes their brain up, because you're like, no, everything's fine, but they feel this they feel this even if you are pretending everything's fine. Like, they're so sensitive. Children are just so, they've been a soul more than they've been a human. And so now you're telling them that they have to shove their feelings down and not quite process it correctly. And then if they see this person treat you that way, they sometimes think it's okay to treat that way. Like, there's just so many dynamics when it comes to kids, right? But if you stand in your power and you move on and you build healthy boundaries, you're going to show them, like, you know, I love this person, but they weren't treating me properly, and so I had to grow and evolve and stand in my power. And it never helps to stay for the kids, because the kids, even as I said, even if they have no clue what's going on, they feel all the toxicity. And so that's just something for someone out there who's hanging on to this person and giving this person way more love than this person ever deserves. I feel like Pile 2, there's someone in your life who has taken way more than they've ever given. And I'm so sorry to hear that, because I've been in that situation and it's just not good. And I've seen others in situations way worse than myself, and I've seen the toll it took on them. So let's not focus on these cards anymore, because these people they just don't deserve it, right? It's, how can we focus on, okay, they're showing me this card, and this card, and potentially this card. Let's focus on how to grow, how to get out of this, how to take your power back. The power, the fulfillment, and the self-attainment. 6, 7, 8. It's saying you really need to have that rebellious spirit. And it's not so much that you need to fight another person, but it's you rebelling against what you think society has shoved on you that you need to accept and deserve. And especially, let's say if you're a mother and, you know, oh, you have to be, you know, sweet and loving and cook and do everything for everyone. Like, that's just and then for dads, we put so much stress on them that they have to provide and all these things, but it's like, not one person needs to do one thing. It's almost everybody needs to do something. So when you actually do find this, when you free yourself, right? Enough is enough. You have to hit your rock bottom and be like, I can't do it anymore, right? They'll come back in the moon and they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't see them being sorry, because this person is swine, right? Like, they literally are as charismatic as they'll ever get. It will not grow and evolve. And I would love to say that people change, but you're the one that needs to change, right? Because you're the only one who can control you in this situation. And so I want to pull more cards, but they want me to use these cards. Okay. They're showing me to go back to the time where you felt that separation in your heart. So maybe that's the first heartbreak you ever experienced, or I don't know, just that first blow. And to go back to that moment, and don't focus on what happened, right? Just focus on that tear, or that part where you shattered yourself, kind of. And the best I can explain it is like, you know, you're having the best day, and then someone comes and tells you something, and then all of a sudden you feel it drop, right? And no matter what afterwards, you just couldn't pretend to be happy, right? It stole your oomph, your thunder, right? And going back to that moment and not focusing on the other person. We don't need that person energy anymore. Only focus on healing your heart in that moment. So somewhere from there was a split, there was a crack, there was a separation from our feelings and our emotions, our emotional body, our physical body. It's just, there was in our soul, it was, you know, because you, sorry to bring this card back, but you are the pearls. You are, right? And the pearl is something when a little piece of sand gets in there. So that's when it cracked. There was a pearl or a piece of sand that got in there, and it irritated and it did all this stuff. But because you kept on being loving and nurturing, it grew, and your heart kind of created this pearl. There's something really beautiful in your heart. So take your pain and make it into something beautiful. And when you liberate yourself and you focus only on you, I only want you to love you. And you know, I did mention to some that they have kids. You can focus on that too. But when I'm saying love, like you literally have to love yourself so much before you could love another. If you're broken, it's like it's not the love that others deserve. This person didn't deserve this love that you were giving all this love to this person. But once you kind of got that crack and that sand got in there and all of that irritation, send that to yourself, right? Now you've got this pearl. Now you've got this like crystallized, beautiful heart, which is so beautiful. And so that will eventually turn to that again, because you are this beautiful pearl. You are. And I'm so sorry that you met someone like that. It just sucks that there's those kind of people in the world. But as Spirit always says, there's no wrong or right. Like, those people are essential for our growth and evolvement. So take the lessons, take the pearls, and liberate yourself. Find your new joy. Somebody new will come, and they'll be equal, right? So it comes to these two. This is who you were giving to before. This is what the partnership that you should, that's coming. One, they're both collaborating, they're both exchanging and sharing and filling. It's not just you filling up their cup, your cup's getting filled too. And so I'm going to leave it at that. Pile 2, I'm proud of you. You have a very tough, I'm hearing that a lot of you have already made this decision to liberate yourself, and some of you still have to liberate yourself. But either way, I'm proud of you, because anyone who's ever been in this situation, like those who haven't been, don't understand how hard it is to leave. And so that's what Spirit wants for you to know, your soul wants for you to know. Right now is a time of liberation, of you being the rebel and going against what's been put on you, and you will do it. And I'm going to send you so much love and support during this process. Pile 2, I can't wait to see how this grows and evolves from here, because honestly, the worst is behind you. You've literally been grinded down to, you know, that mini sand, but that sand you've made pearls out of. And so now it's time to go and live your abundance and bejeweled life. And maybe there's a Taylor Swift song, Bejeweled. Maybe there's a message in there for you. All right, Pile 2, if this resonated with you, I appreciate if you could hit the like button. And if anything spoke to you, if you could just reach out, let me know. I feel like this is a heavier reading, so I guess you don't quite need to do it in the comments, but I have an email in my description if you want to share a story. I love getting feedback, but You got it, pile 2. Stay strong. Bye. Hey, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. This is just a general message of what your guides and spirit want for you to know. So let's see what your first card is. So you got galactic, dropping my pile here. You got galactic guidance. It says star family, assistance, and cooperation. As I listen, or as I zone in on this card, I'm hearing that pile 2 is that they're I feel like your heart is getting lighter and lighter, that it's almost I don't know if it's like palpitations or something, but I'm just getting that there's a lot of communication and light coming through your heart. Yeah, I just keep seeing the heart space becoming expansive. And new insights coming for you guys. So I'm just gonna lay out the rest of the cards here and see what we got. See what we got. So first off, the first card that I got was, sorry, they're all in reverse. So I'm getting, pile 3, you might be feeling like you're the oddball, that you don't quite fit in with many people, but that's what most starseeds are. Like that's just how starseeds are. Like they're so weird, and I love them. But yeah, it's almost like I just hear someone's mom being like, of course they didn't, I just see them like planning everything, this big family event or something, and then like you're just going against the grain, and they're just like, ugh, like I thought this one time, and so I see you get a lot of trouble from that, right? Because there's why can't you just be normal? But you're not normal because your soul's not from here, right? Star seeds, they got the calling that Earth needed help. And so we're here, we reincarnated, and we are slowly raising the vibration of the Earth. And so a lot of the things that we used to do doesn't work. And so what I think is wonderful is the first card I pulled was the Great Bear. Right? The Big Dipper. I love that one. And so here we got the sky, the stars. This one, star family, star seeds. I just see you never listening to anyone. And people are just like, please just follow the instructions. Right? And I think in some things for society, rules are in place for a reason, but you're here to learn the rules and then push the boundaries of the rules because you think differently, you know differently. Your soul has been in different civilizations and things like that have a higher frequency. They are more on the scale of love, and like they can use telepathic abilities and things like that. And so you might find that I'm hearing a bit of healing needs to come because you're this little weirdo. Just accept it, right? And you're here to create a new path. You're here to breathe new life into this earth. and a new direction. That a lot of the systems that we have just aren't good. But I feel like pile 3 are the star seeds who are trying to fit in and to be normal. And you can't, and you won't, and you never will. And that's just something to know now, so that you can save yourself a lot of heartache and a lot of pain going forward. That I'm getting that some people, because in the past lives that they knew telepathic, like that they don't speak much in this life, that they feel like star seeds tend to feel a lot more. They tend to stay everything inside, and so that's where this card comes. Mercury is all about communication. So Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, and it cycles, I don't know the correct numbers, Earth is 365 to get around, but Mercury is like woo 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 woo. And so that's communication and movement and going forward. But the card, this one, as above so below, was in reverse. So this is telling me that there's a lot of star seeds not honoring their path, their voice, their vision. They're doing what others have planned for them. Not even making a choice. They're just like literally let everyone push them around. They're like, okay, go do this. And they're like, okay. But it's the as above, so below. Whatever's within you is what's around you. And so I'm getting that there is a bit of healing that needs to happen in order for you to, you've just taken on so much crudge. And I say crudge, it's just dense energy that's not yours, because that's not your vibration, that's not your soul's essence. But you've taken on these earthly things and rules and systems, right? It could be from government or schooling or any system or organization, and you tried so hard to fit in with it, but you're not meant to, right? You're meant to learn the rule, you are, and then because you can see so much farther, you can plan so much better than the people who are telling you what to do, that, like I say, you need to learn all the players, all the games, all the pieces, and then you have to expand the board to your level of consciousness. And so, a lot of star seeds have found themselves in bad situations, right? I'm picking up on, I don't want to quite say criminal activity, but these are the kids that were constantly in trouble in school, at the principal's office, things like that, That's the kind of energy that I'm getting. And it's like you're rebelling, but not in a healthy way. And so you need to go within. At the beginning, I said, I got the heart was expanding. And so, I'm just seeing them be like, enough with all this stuff. Like, don't listen to what other people are telling you. You are divinely connected to the stars, but you're not listening to it. You're listening to others that aren't connected to the stars and their soul star family. And you're here to breathe the new life. You're here to create new plans, new inventions, new technology, new rules, new everything. You're here to bring that spark to this earth that we need, right? Because there's a lot of people who are trying to manipulate, and they know how to use energy. They know that they can feed off fear. And so a lot of the things in place are to cause fear and havoc and separation, whereas this one said cooperation, right? You know how to unify and bring things together. But you have to do that healing within yourself and letting go of these ideas of what doesn't work, right? You could, and then create your own, right? Speak up. And so the next card that we have is a sacred union. And so what I'm getting from this is that, oh, look at that. So in their hair, there's stars. And so a lot of star seeds, they find themselves alone. But I feel like that your soul family, right? Because they're there around your guides, helping you. But you also have a soul family here. And you have to do the healing within, as above, so below. Everything in you is what's outside of you. And when you do that healing, that's when your soul tribe will start coming in. And so when you actually meet someone who thinks like you, who understands you, who doesn't need for you to explain everything that you're thinking and feeling, they just know because they work like you. Those are the divine connections that we need to nurture. And so if you found these people already, like I said, nurture and love that. And it's just so easy, right? You just are yourself, and it grows and it breathes new life into you. And the last card that we have is Metatron's cube. And there's so much sacred geometry within Metatron's cube, right? You got the flower of life, the seed of life, the fruit of life, like all of it. And then you got like every single sacred geometry you can make out of that. And so Metatron, his story is that he's the first, I want to say human who became an angel, who like evolved to like that high frequency status. That's the evolving, right? Because here it's new, a new direction, a new thing. You do the healing within, and that's where all this growth comes from. So here we've got multiple flowers in multiple different stages. So there's the thorns, there's the buds, then we actually have the full bloom, and then the connection and the coming together. And so I'm getting that to stay optimistic that there is your soul family coming in, and it's going to be so interesting how much you're past the thorns in this, you're past hurts and trials and things like that, how they mirrored kind of each other, and how because this person learned this and this person learned this, that it coexists and it will create something so beautiful. Sacred, that's the word, sacred. And so once I feel like you start connecting more to your soul family and stop trying to fit in with those who don't understand you, that's when you'll start to hear the guidance again from the soul from your guides, the star seeds, the galactic guidance, star family. That's what I wanted to say. But you are being assisted right now to get out of your comfort zone and to connect with those who are on your same path, who are on your frequency, and who are here to create the change that you're here to create. You can avoid your purpose all you want, but the more and more you avoid it, the more and more you become dissatisfied with yourself, to the point that you need to change, right? Or is this the pile that I said criminal activity? It's almost like that. The more and more you avoid it, the more and more you're going to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not growing and evolving, and you're being divinely guided. And so when you keep trying to hold on to these fake superficial things in the 3D here, that all of us tend to or not all of us, that society tends to tell us is what we want, what we need. It's not. Like, those foundations are crumbling. And so you could focus on the money and things, and the things that it brings you, but it's only satisfying in the first minute that you get it, and then after that it's lost its, and then you're like, on to the next, on to the next. So that could lead to addictions and things like that. So yeah, the more and more you avoid your purpose, the more and more just there's more room for unwanted things, right? You become stuck and stagnant, and then it's just not good, because then you become scrappy, right? Because now you're in this rut, and you're like, it's almost like you'll need to fight for the things that you want, but they don't fulfill you. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but that's what they're showing me. So Spirit, let's wrap this up. And any last word? They want me to focus on the sacred union. This sacred union that's coming in once you start to do the healing within. You're going to experience a love. Yep, I'm total goosebumps. You're going to experience this love that you've never experienced before. Maybe you thought you knew what love was, but when you actually find a soul that is connected to yours in such a sacred way, like, that's going to be a love that you'll never be able to experience again. I can't even explain it, because it's something that needs to be felt. And so it's pure, it's innocent, it's powerful. It's, when I say innocent, I don't want you to get that caught up with boring, it's peace, I guess. I wish I had the card I had in reading 2. Theirs was just this big white light. Maybe I have it. I do. This. It's like staring directly at the sun. That's what this love is. It's like, it's so powerful that it's just pure light. And so whatever that is, that's coming to you. And so you really need to look within and start doing the things and admit your uniqueness and your quirkiness, and that you're not meant to follow status quo, and just start following your guidance and your guides, and coming up with new ideas and new paths that you're here to create. You're meant to be the leader. And so you need to speak up. You need to be here. You need to be present and focused. And I'm just looking at all the numbers here. 8 is the common one. So it's a, whatever's yours will be yours, but it's only going to come to you if you do the healing within, and you stop clinging on to the 3D world that's not meant for you. You're galactic. You're much, much more. So that's your reading for today, Pile 3. If it resonated with you, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up and like button. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.